got to see him naked. He showed me how to watch porn, and he
Right.
like,
Right.
no, Andy, not cool. And so when
Right.
he arrived at 13 years old with bright purple nail polish on all his fingers.
Hmm.
I said, okay.
Yeah.
I said, let me just run down some rules here. You're staying in my penthouse. That's fine. Eddie is my driver. He's going to take you. I've signed you up for a really cool acting. It's a 1 week acting class in Union Square for kids. He's like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And I said, make your bed. You got to make your bed in the morning before you go. Eddie's going to pick you up and he's going to wait for you out front every day. And you're going to walk out front. If you want to bring a friend or two, that's fine. And he's going to take you to lunch. He's going to bring you back and he'll be there at 5:30 in the evening when school is over, and he'll bring you home or you'll meet me at a restaurant somewhere. Okay, fine. Every other day, didn't matter. He'd go out the back door with friends. Eddie sat there, never saw him at lunch. I don't know if he's dead, and I'd get him. I'd say, okay, I'm going to just call him Larry. I'm like, Larry,
Okay.
I don't quite understand. First of all, you're a guest in my house. You need to make your bed. Oh, sorry, sister. And I said, secondly, I'm not your fucking sister. And third, get the nail polish off your fingers because the boys are going to beat the shit out of you in the locker room when you get back to school. You got it? He's like, well, I just want to be me. I said, go ahead and be you, and you'll be ridiculed and beaten up. Just try to deal with your journey in a subtle way. You don't have to push it on people. And, thankfully, he listened to at least 30% of everything I said, maybe 40. And yeah, the nail polish went. And yes, he became popular at the school and he didn't push it on people. And and I'm not trying to squelch the world of their thoughts and their feelings. But I do feel like I've been a very successful gay man. And when I walk in a room, I know that I have power that a lot of people don't have. I have incredible taste. I have great style. I'm not scared to say things. And I'm a doer. And I'm also maternal. And so I like to make people happy and I like to do good things for people on. So it's a great combination. And that is a power for me to go into a room because any big dicked, egotistical maniac can start blowing up and blah, 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 blah. And I'll go, listen, you're totally misreading the situation. And let me explain to you what's going on out there right now. Blah, 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 blah. Trust me. I'm a gay man that belongs to a country club and a yacht club. And I like to cook, but I also love to play golf. And nothing makes me happier than being on my sailboat. And yeah, most of the gay world does not like sailboats because it's work. And all my gay friends want to sit in a chaise next to a pool, which drives me crazy. And I will sit next to my pool every once in a while. But I always have a weeding mechanism in my hand because I'm constantly weeding around the pool because I don't like weeds coming up near, but you see the story. And I think, Carter, you're falling in that same journey and you have the same ability to walk in a room and I don't want to say, oh, because we pretend we're normal. We're perfectly normal, right?
Yeah.
What is the normal today? There's no,
right.
What's the new norm? Okay, maybe we're different, right? And we can embrace that. What do you think?
It's such an interesting, I think the three also generations of queerness is like, there's so many different generations at this point, and having a young 13-year-old where he's so lucky that he wasn't growing up queer when we did. And I'm not saying that it's super easy now, but I think that there is a level of empowerment that young queer kids now have, and a level of ubiquity among queer people to be able to, maybe he won't get beat up because of his purple nails, but it's something that we might have had to think about because we were subjected to so much violence, as the world was getting more and more used to queerness. So on one hand, I do understand the kind of, it sucks because if he does take his nail polish off, he will feel more, he will not be expressing himself in the way necessarily that he wants to, but right. At the same time, like you said, he will be safer.
Yeah.
And it's the risk. It's like, do you wear the nail polish, or do you wear the nail polish in a kind of rebellious act, or do you just do it because you don't? I mean, the fact that these kids can wear these the nail polish and not have to think twice about it, that shows that there's at least a little bit of progress.
I
um
agree. I just think you touched
so
on it.
yeah,
Safety first to me, but I do.
yeah,
You don't
yeah,
want everybody to just what do you say? Bury their feelings. Okay, I just need to look normal, and then I can fit in. When they don't feel normal, or they don't feel like
right.
everybody else, and they want to express themselves, and I appreciate that. But isn't there, Carter, like a time and a place for everything too?
It really depends on, yeah. I
I don't
it's
know.
these are the things that straight people don't have to think about. Is like safety, and I think I'm also, this is the first year of me being visibly trans, and there are lots of things that I am still thinking about that I maybe haven't even gone to in my head yet. Like the idea of going to a place that maybe part of the world or part of the country that isn't as socially accepting of trans people. That's not even something that is even in my periphery right now because of that fear. And it's just, I'm very lucky to be in a place where it's more acceptable to be trans. But there are many people out there in the country and in the world who are living as a trans person, in many ways, in my opinion, braver than I am, because they are living in these hyper conservative, or not even conservative, but just narrow minded households, um and communities that can't accept them. And so yeah, I think we are doing what we can as people who have access to those groups of power, like the golfers and the sailors. Um, but it's a really tough question that I think I'm still trying to learn the answer to, is how do we empower the people who might be at more serious risk of safety, while also not, how do we give ourselves, like, not bend over backwards for to fit in? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's like um, I can remember in high school, um, and it was a tough journey at the beginning of high school because my family moved to Cape Cod to our summer place. With 37 kids in my high school class. I went from a big school in New Jersey to this teeny little school, and arrived first day in a chauffeured limousine, and on, wearing my little coat and tie. And of course, the average person at our school wore blue jeans and a t-shirt, and your dad was either a fisherman, a carpenter, at a gas station, or more of the blue collar world. And that was certainly far from um, my family. And I was hated, totally hated. But Carter, like you, I graduated, you know, editor of the yearbook, president of the student body, most likely to succeed, class clown. I don't know. I won everybody over and became the most popular person in that school. And it was a journey. But I taught people how to dress. I taught all my friends. We invited them to the house. They learned how to eat properly and use a fork and a knife and a napkin and all the things that no one had ever really focused on with them. And I became a trailblazer in that way, which was, I felt really good that I was able to inspire change in that kind of a community. And I think one of the things that, if there's anything that you could potentially share right now, and maybe it's something that you might develop into a TED Talk, anything, it's like, what
Yeah.
do the Carter Howes do from rural America? And because
Yeah.
for them, there are two choices: suicide, and which is very serious, right? I mean, the suicide rate is so high with
And common.
with teenagers today, especially because of social media. Can you imagine? When I was young, there was never a world where somebody clicked a picture of you just doing something, whatever, and the next thing you know, it's posted in front of 10,000 kids at your school. And now you don't, and you never even left your room. And now you don't even want to leave your room. And
Right.
and so what are your words of wisdom right now of your 23 years for kids in rural America who are trying to deal with, the transgender world, or coming of
Yeah.
age, or what can you say to them?
I think the thing that I would say first is come out when it's safe. And if it's not safe for you to come out, you have to educate yourself on the world of queerness around you through media, through books, through TV, through social media. It's all there, it's free, you can find it, to keep you uh, not only alive, but also uh, feeling like seen.
And probably
And the other thing is,
reassured, right?
when reassured, yeah. And that, I did that too. Like, you have to come out when it's safe, because if you don't, you have to just think, like, it's a real, it's a really big decision. And yeah, you gotta like, look at your surroundings, get yourself a community of people, whether it's in person or online, doesn't matter. The fact is, it'll more likely be online. um if you need to find those people online who are like you, reach out, do it. Even if it's weird, even if you don't spend a lot of time on social media platforms, do it, because the people who validate you, it doesn't matter how, as long as you have some people to talk to about it. um, Talk to somebody about it who can assure you, who can make you feel seen. If your family can't, if your school can't, if your job won't, um, that's those two things I would say: come out when it's safe, and also educate yourself, because there's no shortage of queer literature and TV and social media out there. And um, when you feel like you can, then I would just, I don't know, it's so different for everybody, but come out and make yourself feel useful. That's one of the things that I have found, is giving a purpose to my transness has been one of the most, uh I know you don't need to. We as humans shouldn't need to do anything, but if you can provide a sense of purpose with your transness, whether it be, for me, the privilege of being able to do Converse, like something even in a super small way, if you can find a person once you're out that is really struggling with their own identity, and they're not even talking to it about talking to their parents about it, if you can have a conversation with them, be visible to them, be visible to the people who need it. Even if you can't be visible to the public, because that is how people stay alive and stay confident and seen and expressive. Yeah, that's pretty much what I would say.
Nice. And this, you touched on something, parents. So positive reinforcement. Do you feel like you've been really lucky with your parents?
Yeah, yeah, I have. I think
Did you first feel like
every
you were going to let them down?
no, I felt like I was not going to be understood.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, and I felt that way across the board. I felt like it was the weirdest thing I could be doing, especially when I've been like I was like the cool girl. I was like the cool skater girl that was like friends with everybody for so many years. And to be like, having this super big thing, have a have it be part of my identity, to be coming out, like, I was really nervous that everyone around me, because I also knew maybe two other trans people, three other trans people, people were not going to understand. And so, yeah, luckily my parents and I have a great relationship. Um, but yeah, I was very, very fearful, even in the most, kind of, one of the most liberal possible environments. And so